Interesting things come to light in the last day or so here. The biggest news is that you may have seen another video about this, but Major League Baseball has officially recognized the accomplishments and contributions of black players from the Negro leagues and integrated the stats into Major League Baseball. For whatever reason, whether it's the social aspect, what's going on today, that sort of thing, or whatever your thoughts are on how this works. The idea is, hey, they've been major league players, whether we recognize them or not, and I think it's about damn time. And there was a lot of implicit bias and stuff into not including them until now, and just straight up racism. But now it's official. Those stats, at least, are now part of the Major League stats. There are no San Jose A's, and don't come in here with that bullshit. But the other thing that I wanted to comment on was Scott Boras. He's a well-known sports agent, especially around here. We know him as Matt Chapman's agent, as well as a number of other guys. But Scott Boras made the comment that the stadium issue in Oakland is not enough to overcome the money woes in Oakland. And I'm going to tell you what, I 100% agree. Stadiums don't mean jack, and I'm going to tell you that right now. And it means money not because people are just going to come. I mean, that might happen. But the money issues are because the JPA basically are the ones who make the money. They're depending on the lease agreements and stuff, percentages of food and beverages, that type of stuff goes to the team. But if the A's own the ballpark, everything goes to them. They'd also make the money on the monster trucks and the concerts and everything else that would happen within the stadium. That's great and all, but what really sells and puts money in the pockets of baseball, and in this case the A's, is going to be long-term contracts on star players. Hey, $12 beer is easy. I've seen $17 beer and other. $12, we need to be happy about that. $12 is great. Get to be a season ticket holder, and you can pay $6 for that same beer. At least currently, that's an even better deal. Honestly, the A's season ticket plan, the access package, is the best thing I've ever seen in sports. Honestly, it's well worth the money. You will make up the savings, the cost and the savings, just because, let's say I would normally go to a game and I'll buy at least a drink, sometimes two. I don't drink alcohol really. It's rare for me to have a beer, but I'll have I'll buy the big soda. I guess it's RC now. What is that? That's like, depending on where you go, and that's the other part that sucks, is depending on where you go, the exact same thing costs more or less. Anywhere from $6 to I think around $7 or $8. If you went to a Raiders game, that same drink would cost you even more, and that's really messed up. But that's what it was. But really, back to the point was that the stadium isn't gonna fix those problems, and he's absolutely right. A new stadium will attract some fans who are just going to come to see the stadium. It happened in San Francisco. People are going to come to San Francisco and check out the ballpark. But the idea is, winning teams and championships and star players are going to sell merchandise, sell tickets, sell ads on TV. If you don't give me something I want to watch, why would I? If I'm a business owner, and if you said, hey, buy airtime with us, buy advertising with us, I'm like, how many people are watching? Oh, twice as many people are watching the Giants. I think I'm going to take my money to the Giants. What's my savings? What's my cost per click? Whatever that advertising might be. And the A's aren't pulling that. One of the common refrains from fans, casual fans who have moved on, are that you don't know who's playing on the A's from year to year. It's been a little bit better, and recently, that's only because we have control over these prospects for a short period. We're starting to come up on that time. Matt Olson, his contract's coming due in the next season or two. So is Matt Chapman. And those guys are going to be $20-30 million players easily. We're probably going to lose Marcus Semien this year. We might have Piscotty for another year or two. I'd have to take a look, but yeah, we do. Yeah, Sky Bolt is a guy who could come play. We got a lot of prospects. I'm tired of prospects. I want stability in the team. I want to be able to go buy a jersey and have that player be relevant in 2 or 3 years. I typically buy blank ones because I have no idea who the hell is going to be playing third base, first base, anything. We can't keep a pitcher. But anyways, long story short, players are going to draw fans. Even the Giants know that. Giants suck right now, but they're still pulling free agents. They're getting guys, whether they're going to compete or not, because they know that, hey, we're not going to be good. We need a reason to put fans in the seats. They also need to make better deals. They need to get sponsorship deals. They could do that now. There's a lot of avenues. The A's are lazy. The A's are just straight up lazy. And they should be getting their head out of their ass and knowing that, you can't even pay for a ballpark unless you've got fans. You can't pay for a ballpark unless you've got a good TV deal. You can't pay for a ballpark unless you've got good sponsorship. You can do whatever you're going to say you're going to do at the Coliseum. That doesn't mean it's going to happen. I don't see them leaving, but I don't see the longer that this drags on, I'm having a hard time seeing this project happen. And I hope they stay true to it and everything. But it's a mess. I also did kind of want to bring up the San Jose Sharks. They've been in an interesting predicament because since we're on the issue of San Jose, the Sharks have been pretty much battling it out with San Jose and Santa Clara County because the first issue was Google has been buying up all the land around the arena, and that's ruining plans for the Sharks, who have talked about building a new arena, but have also been, wanting to. The land that Google's buying, is pretty much being used for their parking and overflow, and that's really hurting the prospects of the Sharks staying in San Jose. So. But even more recently, in the last week or so, Santa Clara County said no contact sports. The 49ers are already playing in Arizona because they can't play at you also have, so now you have the Sharks going, well, where are we going to play? Cities like Las Vegas have offered to host the Sharks, the Ducks, and the Kings if California is not going to let them do their thing. So that kind of sucks, but I guess the JPA has been talking to them and said, hey, come play here. But then health officials in Alameda County said not going to happen. So hopefully they can work that out. But this is a real big opportunity for Oakland to make a play at the Sharks, why they played in San Jose in the first place, I have no idea, but okay. But the Oakland Arena was built for hockey. There was hockey in the Oakland Arena before there was Warriors basketball. So something to consider. And finally, what I wanted to talk about was Scalpers. Something I've been dealing with personally this last few months. Because here it is, next week is Christmas, and I'm still trying to figure out birthday or Christmas gifts, because everything I try to go buy, of course, I got a 10-year-old, it wants the stuff everybody else wants. I can't buy it. Because who are basically buying all the popular stuff and reselling it for astronomical prices in the secondhand market, whether it's eBay or otherwise. And a lot of this stuff was very popular when it came to like the sneaker culture. Buying the new Jordans and reselling them online. I dealt with that yesterday as well too. Nike has a new Jordan in the mid something Oakland, and it's suede. It's a high top with suede green and gold on the heel and the ankle, and it's A's colors, the Kelly green. Anyways, so I went to the Nike store. They didn't have them in my size, even though they said they did. And so I looked around online, and all I found were, 2 times markup. And, I'm not paying, $200 for $100 shoes. I don't, it's just the principle of it. I don't need them that much. The biggest thing though is, if you play video games, my son, he's 10 and he plays video games, and I'm trying to like escape the sun here. And if you wanted a PlayStation, you're having to not only fight it out with everybody else who wants one, but you're also having to deal with bots and scalpers. And people are actually using the same scripts or the bots, the programming that they do to nab the Nikes and stuff, but also to get in before everybody else, somehow jump the queue and get, multiple, PlayStations before most people get one. And in most cases, none. There's just nothing out there. Yesterday, I spent probably about 6 hours, 6, 7, yeah, about a little over 6 hours dealing with that because Best Buy announced a drop, which would have been at 6 a.m. It was 8 a.m. Central, 6 a.m. Pacific, and so I was up early, and then it didn't work. It didn't go. They weren't happening. So people were just like, "What happened? Did they drop the ball? Did they forget? And so finally, a few hours later, they actually did come online, and then they would drop them in small chunks. So hopefully that was to kind of freak out the bots and those guys, because you didn't know when it was going to happen. But those eventually sold out. And then as that was happening, Walmart announced that they were going to do their own drop, another drop, and they did a very similar thing. They brought them out in pieces, in bulk. They would do them in waves of drops. So they were like every 10 minutes or so there was a drop at 3:30, 3:40, and something like that. So they did multiples until they sold out, but very few people got through. And that's been a bigger issue. Another thing that's real popular right now is something called a hot cocoa bomb, which is just a little ball of chocolate with cocoa mix and sometimes marshmallows or whatever inside. And some dude on TikTok had one, and now everybody wants to buy them. They're like $2 if you go to Lucky or Safeway, your grocery store. If you buy a single one, like $2. People are turning around and reselling those ones for $15, $20 a piece. If you buy like a 4-pack, they're like $40. And it's like, wow, you can't even get things for your kids, like affordable things, without people turning around and trying to make a killing on them. Now, I understand that this has kind of been the way it's been for a long time. I remember in the early 80s, my mom trying to get my sister a Cabbage Patch doll, and people were like damn near killing each other just to get this stupid little pie-faced doll. And I didn't get it. I'm a little boy, but it's the same idea, the craziness, and every year there's more craziness. So I think it's really messed up. I'm hoping that there's going to be what's the guy's name? Robin Hood moment where somebody goes and uses these tools for good and gets them out of the hands of the bots and the guys reselling, because it's really messed up. Little kids are looking for these things, asking for them for Christmas, can't even get them. Yeah, there's also a lot of grown-ups and teens and stuff who also want them, but the people who are buying them aren't those people. They're just folks trying to make an extra buck or $500 or whatever they're making. A PlayStation sells for $500 and resells for $1,200. That's pretty normal. A lot of scams following with that. Send me half the money now, and I'll send you the other half when I get it, or whatever. That's another big thing, is the scams on using stuff like Venmo and Cash App. Once you send the money's gone. There's no recourse. At least eBay has a system set up to where if you have money or you make a purchase, you can set it up to be an actual business purchase or whatever, not friends and family. Friends and family, you're screwed. But if you say that this was an actual merchant that you're dealing with, at least you have a little bit of recourse where you could, if you got scammed, you could go back and say, hey, I got scammed, and they could go back and investigate it. More often than not, though, they will side with the person who, depending on what you have, they usually will go against whatever you're doing. They typically, in most cases, side with the seller, especially if that seller can say that there was an actual shipment and provide some sort of a the tracking number, saying that it was delivered. I could put any tracking number in there, and I've had this happen where somebody said, yeah, he said I never got the item, but they said I got it, and I'm like, that's not even my address. And I really had to fight for that one, and ended up getting my eBay account closed, or my PayPal account closed for a period, because I disputed it with my credit card because eBay wasn't taking, didn't have my back. And they're not a bank, and that's an issue in and to itself. I think eBay should have to follow the same regulations as a bank. But anyways, so there's that. But otherwise, Christmas is next week, so hey, have a Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Hopefully all this COVID crap is over soon. So I'll be back soon. Hopefully there's better news out here in the coming days. And again, happy holidays.